them. Yes, you guessed it. Our superstars are back. Smoke is ready to defend his crown, but it won't be easy. Not against this lineup. Waltrip, Andretti, Labonte, Biffle, Elio, Kanan, Ernie, and Haley are back. Not to mention a couple new guys named Ryan, the Indy 500 champ Hunter Ray, and hello, Newman. Plus Kenseth, Newgarden, not one but two Elliots, two Blaneys, and of course, everyone's favorite nemesis, Paul Tracy. Throw in the local track champ and a surprise ringer, and you've got fireworks for 6 straight Saturday nights. The R is all about the racing, and it's set to be fierce. The cars are still the same, fine-tuned and ready to roll. But to add to the challenge this season, we've thrown in a few new tracks, running on asphalt for the first 4 weeks before closing out the series with 2 sure-to-be-wild races on dirt. Now that's how you determine a champion. The weekly format, 2 timed heats that will set the starting lineup for the epic main event. As for the X, let's just say you won't find another experience like this one. We'll take you inside the driver's seat with no pit stops, no tricks. Just old rivals going all out to see who's best. It's time to crank up summer and take another ride. This is the Camping World SRX Series.
Lineup here at Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola. Starting order determined at random by draw, so the local all-star back again this year is 4-time track champion Bubba Pollard. As you look at these 13 drivers come through, boy, do we have a crew ready to go.
Absolutely. Paul Tracy on the front row will definitely be most likely to make contact with another driver first, but everyone's excited to see that, so I know I am.
In the 13, we have 3 NASCAR Cup champions, 3 IndyCar champions, 3 Daytona 500 winners, and 3 Indianapolis 500 winners, all represented in this group of 13 drivers.
It is an incredible field. I mean, as you mentioned, I probably have 95% of these guys autographed, and definitely they're die-cast cars from my childhood. So I'm excited to talk to at least one of these guys before he gets going.
This summer. So an update on the format. It's the same as last year. Timed heat races, 2 of them. 12-minute heat 1, lined up by random draw. The finishing order of heat 1 determines the starting order of heat 2. The average finish of the 2 heats combined to determine where you start the main event, which tonight is 75 laps. 13 drivers ready to go. Heat race number 1. It's season 2 of the Superstar Racing Experience.
Paul Tracy clearly jumping the start early. I like this move.
Tracy outside the lime green car. Bubba Pollard inside trying to fight with Tracy.
Surprised Paul didn't close the door quicker on him, but Bubba's got the experience here, and I'm curious to see if he lays the bumper.
Here's Tony Stewart in the 14, running red this year on his SRX car, and Ryan Newman, one of the newcomers. It's your mic. It's opening up. Give us a second. All right, a little bit back in the field. The gold car is Greg Biffle racing there with Bill Elliott for 8th and 9th place, while Paul Tracy continues to hold the lead.
I think there's been a lot more side-by-side racing than people expected. I've noticed that already Ryan Hunter-Reay's been fed the bumper in 3-4. It's getting a little bit rough out there, and that's kind of what everyone's expecting to see. But Ryan's actually pulled out quite a gap on his former teammate, Marco Andretti. So Ryan, again, solid for his first night out here at the SRX Series.
First, second, and third. Paul Tracy carrying number 3 this year, but still the lime green car. Here's Bubba Pollard looking low. Tony Kanaan right behind them. Is Pollard inside enough to keep Tracy from closing the door? No.
It's interesting because I think Bubba is doing this way less sideways than Paul Tracy is. So I'm very curious to see how that works out for Paul's tires come the end of this race.
Pollard with the left sides down below the line for the lead.
Great move there, honestly. Played that perfectly, and Tony's going to follow him right through. The bottom is clearly the place to be here if you're going to make the move.
Bubba Pollard is 35 years old. Given name is Andrew. He earned the ride here by having the best average finish in an April 8th and 9th twin series of races here at Five Flag Speedway, one of his home tracks. NASCAR Hall of Famer Yellow Flag is out, and just as we did in Season 1 of the Superstar Racing Experience, the caution will come out in each of the heat races. I called it the fun flag. Heat number 1, Paul Tracy led most of the opening segment of the race. Then Bubba Pollard, the local all-star, went by him and is out in front as we get ready for the restart. Heads off, and we're back green.
And we immediately see Bubba Pollard learning from what Paul Tracy did at the start. Got a nice jump on the inside row, and Tony Kanaan now trying to follow in his footsteps. This is going to be great.
Kanaan second, Paul Tracy third. Brian Hunter-Ray tries to stick to the inside of Tony Stewart for fourth.
His muscles to get Paul Tracy out of the way. This is some good stuff right here.
Bill Elliott, Bobby Labonte back here in the field. That's for 8th and 9th, and a car looping around. That's Ernie Francis Jr.
We saw him and Michael Waltrip going side by side for almost 4 corners in a row, so there must have been some contact going on there.
What happened to Ernie Francis Jr.?
Oh, the classic pit maneuver, as some would say. Helio Castroneves trying to slide in late on Ernie Francis Jr. We've seen that before, and we'll see it again in this championship. But, yeah, tough to see for Ernie this early.
So Francis Jr. continues on, but will drop to the end of the field. Of course, that will give him the pole position for heat number 2. But wonder about if he scuffed up those tires in that speed. So clock expires on that. And then there's the checkered flag, having a little radio communication difficulty down to the starter. I saw him looking back over his shoulder, kind of with his hands up in the air back at the control tower like, I can't hear you. Well, they were saying, put the checkers out. Clock has expired on heat number 1. And Bubba Pollard has won it.
Local racer Bubba Pollard using his edge to his advantage. He takes the heat, the first heat, followed by Tony Kanaan and Tony Stewart.
12 minutes in length. Field inverted from the finish of Heat 1. Ernie Francis Jr. in the blue car leads him to the green with Helio Castroneves to the outside, the two that tangled to bring out the yellow flag in Heat 1.
Yes, indeed. And Ernie made sure to make quick work of Helio there, and Helio went straight to the defensive. So I can understand that. You don't want to, oh, man, that was wild.
Francis hanging on. And so Castroneves will go through to the race lead. Maybe that little spin around from Francis damaged those tires a little bit more than he was ready for. So here's the race from 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Bill Elliott in the purple car. Ryan Newman right behind him. And then Bobby Labonte in the white car.
12-year-old me is extremely excited because I see Bobby Labonte, Bill Elliott, and Ryan Newman battling it out, and Greg Biffle in the number 69 machine. So you know he loves to party, and that's a great group of 4 right there.
Michael Waltrip, his second year in the SRX series. Best finish a year ago was a 5th place run. He's got more. Remember one of the, whoa, there's a nice save by Michael. Remember one of the issues, Michael's so tall that his feet were kind of cramped in the car. Well, the SRX gang jumped on it, and he's got a little more foot space in his machine this year as the caution comes out in heat race number 2. For the restart, green flag with Castroneves, Waltrip, Newman, and Elliott, the top 4. Between those 4 Indy 500 wins and 5 Daytona 500 wins, and they're all in the top 4 for the restart. Bubba Pollard's family runs a racetrack in Sonoya, Georgia, 3/8 mile dirt track. They race on Saturday nights. They were supposed to have a race tonight. And then Bubba got the spot in the SRX race here. They canceled the racing tonight at Sonoya, and all of his family and friends and about half the track workers that would normally be working up there are here tonight watching him race against the superstars.
Well, you know what? That's what we love about motor racing. That's an incredible event like this. Bring the family out Father's Day weekend. Have a shot to go beat Helio Castroneves, Michael Waltrip, Bill Elliott, Ryan Newman, guys like that. I mean, it's what an awesome night.
And you're racing against the guy right now, Tony Kanaan, who just came off a top finish at the Indianapolis 500.
Don't remind me.
On Memorial Day weekend. Well, you know.
Tony is an incredibly accomplished driver. I mean, my gosh, he is just an Indy 500 champion, IndyCar Series champion, and now looking for an SRX championship maybe this year.
White flag out in our second heat race. By the way, TK finished on the podium in the Indianapolis 500, finished 3rd in that race. So it is Castroneves to turns 3 and 4 with a comfortable lead over Michael Waltrip. Helio Castroneves will take his 3rd heat race win in SRX competition over last season in this. Over Waltrip, Newman, Elliott, and Bobby Labonte.
Someone take a picture of that top 6 because that average age might be older than me, that's for sure, and I respect that.
CBS. So we're through now with Heat 2, and as you heard, it's the veterans that ended up on top, leading the way. It was Elio Castroneves, followed by Michael Waltrip. You see the leaderboard here, Ryan Newman coming in third. These guys all talking about just how hot it is. So this is when that really, really starts to weigh on them.